Well, the first thing that I would always suggest is really look into the numbers and the data, because I will say AirDNA is a very popular tool out there, but there is a lot, they're going to hate that I'm saying this, but there's a lot of bad data on there. And there's another technical term for it, but you have to filter out a lot of things. Like sometimes there's a lot of duplicate listings. So how essentially AirDNA works is it scrapes the site twice a day. And if it sees that your average daily, this weekend's nightly rate was $9.99, like $999, and it goes and checks in the evening and it's blocked off, well, it's going to assume that that listing booked at $9.99. But the issue is if you have multiple listings on that property, like a basement and an upstairs, and then a third one for the whole home, that whole home at $9.99, even though the basement booked, AirDNA is going to think, oh, this booked at $9.99. So you need to go in and filter out all, and that's just one example, but filter out a lot of that stuff to ensure that, okay, this property of interest that I'm looking at, I know I'm comfortable of the revenue that it can project. And then from there, work the numbers backwards, right? Purchase price, negotiations, property tax, all your utilities, so on and so forth. So I would suggest start doing that immediately. Like that's the one thing. Okay. Like if I can live with these numbers and I really love the area, if it's not a huge cash flow, but hey, I just want, like you said, want to use it as like a vacation spot for myself and it works for you, then that's fine. But if you're looking specifically for cash flow, highly dive into those numbers. And I know
No, that's the biggest thing with Airbnb and vacation rentals is how do I know how much money it's going to make? And there's not, we can go and talk to a property manager and say, ask about a long-term rental and be like, what does stuff rent in the area for a 12-month lease? But when it comes to this, you can be $25,000 off and be like, that can be you can be off in a good way or a bad way, right? So, how do you really nail down the income potential? I'm really curious about that.
Yeah. So there's some filters that I eliminate right away. So there's like days available, which means really days tracked. That means how many days AirDNA has been reporting that income. So anything less than 250 days, I don't even look at it.
Gotcha.
Right? I don't look at it. It's gone. Anything with less than 20 reviews, gone as well. And the big one is once I've gotten a decent data set of like revenue and properties and specific locations that I'm looking at, I'm then going to dive directly into the listing and I'm going to look at all the reviews to make sure they're consistent. So we're in May now. I better see reviews from May, April, all the way down. If there's huge gaps in there, then that's going to trigger, oh, there's probably another listing, or maybe it's an owner block. Maybe it is that person that wants to come down and use it for 2 or 3 months, because when the owner blocks it, AirDNA still thinks it was booked at, it could have been a $9.99 a night average daily rate. So I'm looking for all of those inconsistencies. And if everything matches up, I'll include it in my analysis. If it doesn't, then it's gone. So those are like some top level things that you can do. And then from there, you can reverse engineer it and go in, okay, these are the top properties. Here's all the ones that they do. What do they have? What amenities do they have? How many bedrooms? What's the square footage? What type of location, what types of things do they offer to guests? And then from there, just mimic success, right? You do not have to reinvent the wheel. If you have all of those things, and maybe even plus, but if you have all of those things and you're in the similar area, you know that you should be pretty comfortable with that revenue number that it's spitting out. And then from there, you can look at opportunities. What don't they have? What kind of things can I add in to, increase this 20, 30, 40, 50%?